Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here today to talk about the benefits of mullein, mostly mullein leaf, though you can use the roots and the flowers as well. And unfortunately, I've yet to get it to grow successfully for me, though I've tried a few times. I'm hoping this next year will be my year. So as such, none of the photos you'll be seeing are my own, but I will be gathering photos from all over so you can see what it looks like. I know those of you who live in drier climates, especially in the South, are very familiar with mullein, and many of you, and in many places it grows wild. It does not like really cold, wet climates like ours, which is why I've been struggling. But the good news is I did get some seed from my friend who had brought her mullein that she had in pots over from Eastern Washington, where the weather is very opposite from here, very dry, very hot summers. So and it came back for her after she brought it here in pots, and it did well. So she gave me some seeds. So I'm hoping those ones will be the answer so I can get it growing for myself, especially after everything I've read about it. Now, the other thing I want to share, because usually a lot of times when I'm talking about herbs, it's something that I have used quite a bit, but since I haven't been able to grow it and have had limited access to it, I have also had limited use for it. So this is a little bit of dried leaf I got from my friend, and I'm going to start using this one up. I did finally order some today. So anyway, I'll have that coming in, and hopefully this year I can get my own. But let me get to these benefits, and then I'll talk more about ways that you can use it. So again, the parts used, mostly the leaves are what people are looking at. But if you're harvesting it later in the year, look at getting it from the roots. You can get a lot of great benefits from the roots. But the flowers, as I said, are often used. And some of the nutrients it includes are vitamin C, potassium, calcium, iron, magnesium, manganese, phosphorus, and selenium. And the active compounds would be your saponins, your flavonoids, and your glycosides that help give it all these wonderful benefits. So I was really excited to finally learn more about mullein. I've known for a long time it's excellent for respiratory health. It's right up there at the top, along with usnea for respiratory health. So this is why it's one of the ones I mentioned in the video I did on herbs for lung health. And I'll link to that full playlist down below on natural remedies lists, where I cover all the different herbs and more for specific ailments, and also to my full playlist where I break down, like I'm doing in this video, individual herbs and spices and their benefits and how you can use them. So again, respiratory health right at the top, which also includes any kind of congestion because it's a natural expectorant. And because of its mucilaginous properties, it is good for helping to coat and soothe sore throats and your whole digestive tract, just like marshmallow leaf and root is good for that. And as such, it's also good for bronchitis and asthma. It's good for helping to alleviate constipation. And one that really surprised me is that it's a natural anti-inflammatory and analgesic, which means it's good for relieving pain and inflammation. And it's good for migraines as well. It will also help you to get good sleep. And it was a common cure, and this was proven, for tuberculosis back in the day. Mullein leaf was one that was commonly used for that. It's good for gout, bursitis, and muscle and joint pain. It helps soothe various skin conditions, so you can use it topically, be it infused in an oil or making a poultice. This also includes in using for joint and muscle issues. It can also be used in the form of a rub or a poultice. It helps with pulmonary disease. It is a natural antiviral and antibacterial. And I already mentioned anti-inflammatory, and because of its sedative properties, that's why it's good for sleep. Now, I did mention it's antibacterial, in particular, very good for helping with healing ear infections. And here's another one that really surprised me, and a new one that, as I was doing some research, it is helpful for those with hyperthyroidism. So if you're more concerned about a low functioning thyroid, this would be one that I think you could safely use, just like lemon balm as long as you limit the amount you use it and how often per week, and break that up with other herbs that are good at helping to boost the thyroid, like nettle and ashwagandha and more. So some ways that you can use that I've already mentioned, but let's cover that again, are you can infuse it into your oil of choice. I tend to lean towards avocado oil because it doesn't go rancid as easily as a extra virgin olive oil does. But olive oil is good, especially if you're doing a colder infusion. I do more of a room temperature infusion when I'm talking oils, and I do prefer to use one that I know is going to be less likely to go rancid. So avocado oil is my choice, and there are others. You can use grapeseed oil, hemp seed oil, any kind of oil that suits you the best, you can use to infuse your various herbs in. So anyway, that's one way you can do it, especially if you're going to use it externally for skin care or helping with joints and muscles. You can also powder it and take it in capsule form, or I'm sure you can even buy capsules. The most popular way to do it is to take it in the form of a tea. And I've done that with the mullein. I haven't made a tea with it by itself, but I have combined it with such things as usnea and turkey tail mushroom. Just to help kind of boost my system, to help with, ease any lung issues I was having last year when I was healing up from having the virus, which wasn't so much the virus, but the virus that it activated, which was the Epstein-Barr, and having to deal with that again. And so I was taking it a little bit, but sparingly, because I only have a little bit to use here. But I'm going to do something new with it that I'll talk about here in just a minute. And then I did mention the poultice. Now that whenever you're making a poultice, that can be using a fresh herbs, leaves, and so on. Sometimes people will masticate them, meaning they chew them up and put them right on something. You can use a mortar and pestle to pound those out, or you can use the dried leaves, and whether you powder them or you keep them more in a flake type form, just making basically a paste out of that you can put on the affected area you're trying to care for. Oh, and here's something that looks like that I also added in here, that when using it as a poultice, it can actually be, just like with comfrey, it can be helpful for healing broken bones and soothing backaches, and it was often even used as a poultice for mumps. But the poultice is also good for helping to draw out infections topically and even splinters. So it's a good drawing agent. So coming back to the joints and broken bones and so on, because I've learned this, mullein would be one I would then combine with comfrey, be it fresh or dried as I have here. So I dry up a lot of herbs to get me through when I need these kind of things during this time of the year when they're not growing fresh. And what I plan on doing today, because I've been having a lot of knee problems that's getting worse. This is not the same knee problem I had when I was on thyroid medication that healed up, that I stopped having issues with when I stopped taking the medications over 10 years ago. But this has been different. This is a new development, and I have yet to figure out exactly what it is. And I'm very stubborn. I'm trying to hold off going to the doctor for as long as I can by seeing if I can get to the root of the problem, find out exactly what's causing it. I do believe it has to do with repetitive movement due to exercise and sewing on my treadle machine, which causes me to constantly have to be pumping and moving those knees. So one of the things I'm going to start doing as of today is, even though I've done the horsetail tea a couple of times, I'm going to be combining the mullein, because it is said to be good for gout and for bursitis, even though I don't think it's gout, that that is one of those things that tends to affect different joints, and it can happen in the knee. The horsetail, because the silica in there is really good at helping to build up the cartilage in the bone. And then the comfrey, because it is also really good, whether it be taken internally or used as a poultice, which I'm probably going to eventually do that too. It is good for helping to heal broken bones, cartilage, and muscle. So I'm making the tea out of all that, and I have been using my muscle and joint rub, which includes the comfrey leaf in there as well. And if you're interested in that recipe, I do infuse several different herbs into my muscle rub now. I've been adding more herbs and then using less of the essential oils, but I'll go ahead and link to that video recipe down below if you're interested in that. But remember, the more herbs you use, like using a peppermint. If you grow peppermint, you can infuse your peppermint in there and then leave out the peppermint essential oil and many other things. And so I found actually by just using the oil infusion before I added the essential oils that it actually worked pretty good. I still add some essential oils because it just feels good anyway to add those because the clove oil and the eucalyptus, they do help ease the pain immediately upon contact. So that's why I do like using that. But then, having those ones that get deep into the tissue that also, helped heal is good. And one of the things I've also been combining it with, not every day, but on occasion, is some DMSO, because DMSO is good for helping to carry such things deeper into the tissue. And I do plan on doing a video on that later on down the road on DMSO, what it is, and how to use it. And one more thing I want to say is that I did already write up all these notes, and then I happened to stumble across Amy Fuel's video that she did 2 years ago on Mullein. So I decided, I might as well listen through that, and found that I had pretty much everything that she mentioned already in this list, but she does break down a few things and goes into a little bit more detail. She does grow it because where she lives, she can grow it prolifically. And she adds some more information that I think is very important. So I'm going to link to her video if you'd like to learn even more about it or just hear another person talk about it. Amy Fuel's a great lady, and she also has her own book on medicinal herbs. I think I always have linked to in the description box, but I'll move that link right up to the top, and I highly recommend it. It is one of my favorite when it comes to having medicinal herbs plus some recipes in there. And so if you're not subscribed to Amy's channel, even though she doesn't put a lot of videos out, she does mostly blogs and writing books. I still suggest you subscribe to her channel, so I'll also put her channel link down below. Again, very great lady. I cannot recommend her enough. And then what I would also like is, like I always ask for, especially with an herb like this, where I'm not as experienced in using because I'm still very new to it, I would really like for you out there who've been using mullein, whether it be you grow it or you collect it wild or you have to buy it, that you would share with us in comments down below, how do you use it? What's your favorite way to use it? And especially, how has it helped you with anything, be it recovering from some kind of virus or dealing with other types of lung issues, asthma, or digestive issues, using it topically for anything. How has it helped you? These testimonies are very important. That way, not only can I read them and learn more about it from you, others can come in and learn about it as well from your personal experiences. So we need to all keep sharing with each other in that way so we can keep learning as we go. All right, don't forget to check out my full playlist on herbs and the natural remedies list and anything else I'll be putting in the description box by clicking on that horizontal rectangle. You'll see some words in there. Click on that to open the whole thing up, and you'll be able to see everything that I put in there and be able to go check out those videos and other links. All right, well, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.